Welcome to another morning mindset. We are here inside Virtual CoWorking Space. My name is Michelle Dale. This is where we help virtual assistants to level up in their business, lifestyle, and mindset. Good morning, my beauties who are here. Karen, Vanessa, Nikki, thank you for being here. Hello, if you are watching the replay. We are covering a very important topic this week, which is about learning for free. So just a quick recap, we've done a couple of days already, but somebody posted in the group about how they wanted to learn how to start, grow, build a VA business, and they wanted to do it for free, and they've been signing up to freebies and things, but it wasn't really giving them the answers. So we talked on the first day about the purpose of freebies, the actual purpose of them, so you don't get this misconception of what you actually should be getting. Yesterday we talked about using the freebies effectively and how the right way to use a freebie, to be honest with you. And then today we are talking about the cost of freebies, because they do have a cost. Depending on how you're looking at it and how you're framing it. And I guess this is the same for everything. It's not just freebies in the virtual assistant industry. We talked about, really understanding that anything free that someone is using as a marketing tool is exactly like the cheese on the stick in the supermarket. You can't make a meal out of one cube of cheese, but you like the cheese and you want to make a meal out of the cheese, So this is where we're going with this this week. So today we're unpacking this cost of freebies. Karen says she loves the analogy. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, I want you to understand, first of all, the importance of what your role is as a virtual assistant, or the importance of the role, okay? So somebody who wants to learn something for free, I don't think is really placing a full understanding of how important they are as an individual in somebody else's business. For example, I have my virtual assistant business for many years, more than a decade, nearly 2 decades. This has been the primary income source of my entire household. I have 5 children. Do you know how much they eat? Especially my teenage son. So, you've got to consider about, how do I get a client? You've got to consider beyond that client. You have to consider how that client is funding you as their VA. Are they funding you from a business? How important is that business to them? We're going to kind of unpack this today as we go through. So the importance of a VA for a client is very clear. And the thing about it is, it was brought up about scams and things like that. And we have to understand really that there are 2 different types of VA. There's the people out there looking for the VA jobs, as in there's some crazy big companies. A lot of that is associated with scams. Come and work with us as a VA. We'll give you $2,000 a month and a car and a bag of gold if you just work 3 hours a day answering the telephone, something like that. That is a scam. That is not a VA business. When you have a VA business, you're in charge of the outcome. And what we want to do really is understand that we are going to attract to us what we're putting out. So if I'm looking at it from this state of, I'm a client, I'm looking to hire a VA, I need that VA to understand the importance of my business. Now, the question is, are you taking this role seriously enough? So the next thing to sort of expand on that is, if you say, yes, I'm taking the role seriously enough, I just want to learn for free, where does that take us in terms of if we were having a legal battle and we needed a lawyer? Would you want to go to the lawyer who'd learned for free from blog posts and YouTube videos how to become a lawyer? Or would you want to go to the lawyer who invested in the time, in the energy, you know, in the financial investment as well, to actually get into the place where they are a trusted lawyer. It's the same with everything. You know, if you had a problem and you needed to go to a doctor because you didn't know what was wrong with you, are you going to go to the doctor that could essentially say, I learned off the internet from blog posts and freebies and free courses and stuff like that, how to be a doctor? Would you trust that doctor? You have to role reverse and put yourself in that position. Now, I'm not saying that you need professional qualifications to become a VA, because essentially this industry is unregulated. Sadly, it's unregulated actually, but it's unregulated. So anyone can call themselves a VA. But, you know, anyone can go ahead and say, well, I'm a doctor, but they're not. Are they really? If they've learned from going on drax.com or wherever it is to look up symptoms and then read a blog post on it. There's so much more to this. And today, the cost of freebies is the cost of keeping yourself in that mentality, in that mode, that the industry is cheap. You know? That the industry, like, sure, you can become a VA for free because it's a cheap industry. It's not. It's just a simply unregulated industry. But that doesn't mean to say that you don't have to invest in yourself to get to a certain position within it. Just like lawyers invest in themselves, doctors invest in themselves, you know, any professional invests in themselves. And when we're looking to invest as entrepreneurs, as clients, we're looking to invest in people that have invested in themselves. Then we need to look at the perspective of what is so important about free, especially when you have to take into consideration as a VA, you're going to have to purchase, and we talked about this, touched on it yesterday, you're going to have to purchase devices, computer equipment, you're going to need to purchase internet, you know, you're going to need to purchase things. And I was saying yesterday about the perspective on investment is if you spend £7.50 to learn the piece of knowledge that I taught last week in my workshop that resulted in a £2,000 client, 2,000 English pound client. And that information I was sharing for essentially £7.50 was to get into the virtual co-working space. Or £27 at that point to invest in the program that would get you in the virtual co-working space. You know, it doesn't seem that much. And if you are going to build a VA business, you're going to have to invest in something. Building a VA business is not free. So why are you looking to learn how to do it for free? You have to understand that everything is an investment. Building a business is not free. Running a business is also not free. So wouldn't it make more sense, since you are going to have to invest something into the business, to learn from somebody who knows best, who has been there and created a program about it, to learn where best to invest your money, how to maximize your investment in your business, because you have to invest in your business. Being a virtual assistant is not free. So that's kind of where I'm going with it today. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I've covered everything. And I think it's really important to understand, and I really, really do want to drive home that this two-part virtual assistant, you're either a VA looking for a job or you're a VA looking for a client. They are very different things. So in this group post, for example, someone has basically shared conflicting information, because on the one hand, this person wants to know about a VA job. What jobs can I get, right? But on the other hand, they're asking, how do I get a client? Now, if you're looking for a job, you're looking for an employer. If you're looking for a client, you're running a VA business. The two are very, very different. So first of all, before you do anything, you can't keep posting conflicting things. You have to choose. Am I looking for a VA job, or am I building a VA business? And when you go into I'm looking for a job, you are exposing yourself to all the people who are using these clickbaits and carrot dangling and too good to be true scenarios. You are exposing yourself to them, and you could essentially fall into the trap of those, because they prey on people, not prey, but prey like a bird of prey. They prey on people looking for the free solutions. They prey on people looking for the cheap, like, options and things like that. But when you are willing to invest and you understand the investment of what it takes to create that VA business and invest in that VA business with your time, with your attention, with your money, with your knowledge, with your experience, with your trial and error, if you can really onboard that, then you need to stop looking for a VA job and you need to start building a VA business. And it requires several things to get clients, to build that business. It's mindset, it's concept, it's approach, communication, presentation, organization. All of these things go into it, you know? And you can't pick that up off the street. You need to learn. You need to learn, you need to invest in it. And there's two ways to do that. You can invest in perpetually looking for the free resources and the next free glimmer of hope that someone's going to tell you everything for free. Or you can just simply abandon all that and just go all in and make a decision to say, right, no, I'm serious. I'm going to get serious about this, and I'm going to get serious about building my VA business. Being a VA is not a scam, but there are scam jobs out there. So be smart. Invest in being a smart VA so you don't get sucked into that underworld of rubbish, pyramid schemes, scams, someone's promised the world. So, you know, even we get people like someone's posting a job and people are applying for the job, and then the person posting the job says they need to be paid if you want the job. I mean, come on. Just leave all that behind. Consider it as a legitimate business. Consider you're going to need legitimate business advice. Build that business. Grow your client base. Invest in yourself. It's all part of the same thing. Get the equipment. Get the systems you need in place. Take it seriously. Because if you don't, there is going to be a cost to you. And it's called the cost of free. It's getting in that perpetual loop of looking and searching for everything free and just spending. I've seen VAs spend months and sometimes up to a year or years trying to get everything for free, when in actual fact they could have just invested 100 quid into a decent course that's given them everything that they need to do, and then they just go ahead and make it work. Now they're going to start earning money immediately. I've had people take my courses, take this freelancer course that I was telling you about, the startup course, within 24 hours having a client, within 2 weeks replacing full-time income from a job they lost. Like this is the cost if you do not invest in information that's going to tell you exactly what to do. The cost of that is you delay getting your clients. You spend more and more time digging yourself into a hole. You get more and more frustrated. That's the cost of trying to find everything for free when you don't have to. So that's what basically the premise is today, is VA jobs, people looking for those, you know, silver bullets or whatever, are going to experience probably some quite negative things, because they're going to be sucked in and drawn into these shiny objects. Whereas if you say to yourself, okay, well, I'm serious about this, I'm taking it seriously. When I take on a client who's going to pay me money, I want that client to know that they've made a good investment in me. So come from that place. Build a VA business. Stop looking for VA jobs. They're two completely different things. Okay, so tomorrow, funnily enough, we are actually going to complete this series with the finale of, you know, the final result of how you build a business for free using free content. I've built up to hopefully helping you understand that this is probably not the best approach entirely, to give you a little bit of perspective on this. The analogy, you can't make a meal out of a sample of cheese. But what we want to do really is, like for me, is to please encourage you to show real respect for this industry. I have seen so much in the last 2 decades since I've been a VA, from going from literally nothing, like it wasn't even something people understood, knew about. It wasn't even a thing. And growing through into more and more people doing it, people writing books about it, people doing it as their lifestyle, moving into the digital nomad scene, moving into the social media scene. Like, so much has happened and so much has evolved. But like anything, once it gets so saturated, it's like being in a field of weeds where suddenly you find a beautiful flower. You got to hold on to that flower and not keep swimming in that sea of weeds. It's like, it's really hard to explain, but the VA industry, it's kind of heartbreaking. I don't want to cry or anything, but it's kind of heartbreaking how it can appear so trashy when it's probably one of the greatest things that has been in my life. And I've taken it so seriously, and I love this industry, and I love to support the people that are wanting to come in it. But it breaks my heart when we have people out there looking for these jobs and ending up in these scams, because so many people are now taking advantage of this saturation of people just seeing it as some magic get rich quick scheme, you know, and it's not. It's a very serious profession. It's a serious profession that people need to help them run their businesses, to help them live their lives and pay for their families and pay for everything, their home, everything. So if it sounds too good to be true, if you think it looks too good to be true, it most likely is. But that does not mean to say that that is the true representation of what becoming a VA is, because it's not. We can literally change lives. There was a period of my time I completely ran a client's business for them, and they were making 6 figures nearly every month because of how I was able to work with them, and they just showed up at webinars and did it and then left the rest to me, you know. That's power. That's powerful. And if you can learn how to do that, instead of trying to piecemeal, oh, you know, $5 an hour, $10 an hour jobs and things like that together, you can actually command so much more out of the business than you can possibly imagine. But if you're looking for it all for free, again, you're not going to find it. Okay. So, I mean, you probably will find it. I'm not saying you won't, but you're going to have to do what I did and spend years and years working with the wrong clients, going things about it the wrong way, losing a lot of money in the process. Sure, I've made a lot of money as a VA. I make a lot of money as a VA, but I've also lost a lot because I didn't know what I was doing, and I made bad decisions, and I invested in wrong things, and I took wrong approaches. And if you can simply hand over money to somebody to avoid all of that, whatever you're paying is a brilliant investment, But this is why it's so important to find somebody that you trust, who has the knowledge that you trust, that you can really invest in, and that they can really invest in you. Okay, I'm gonna get off my high horse now. But thank you so much for being here. We're gonna do accountability. Tomorrow we're gonna come back for the final installment of this whole series. And I really hope whoever's following it and whoever's gonna read the blog post afterwards, because there's gonna be other resources inside there as well to kind of help you guys to help you not fall into this trap that so many people are falling into, then I've done my job. Okay, let's do daily accountability. I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Love you guys lots. Have a great day. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual CoWorking Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.